Hi guys, this is a long play review for Who Dares Wins 2 on the Amstrad CPC from Alligata Software in 1985, and then later re-released on the Alternative Software budget label. And now this is a real favourite of Amstrad fans, and if you remember, I just done my 30-year anniversary video for the Amstrad CPC 464, and this was a very popular choice of people's most memorable or favourite games. It isn't the greatest game in the world, but it's really good, simple fun, and it's sort of a Commando clone, really. And now here's the loading screen. There isn't really one as such apart from the Alligata Software logo. Should we come into the title screen here, of course? There we go. Some nice jolly music there. Programmed by Steve Evans. Expertly programmed, actually. We'll see a demo sequence shortly, give you a little taster of the game. The only other things he's done is a platforming game called Blagger, which was released on the Amsoft label. A decent little shoot 'em up called Z, letter Z. A pinball game called Microball, and he possibly had a hand in the excellent Defender sort of rip-off, Defend or Die. Not quite sure on that one, but that's about him for Steve Evans, sadly, because this is a really great game. And this is just the demo sequence there, and we can see we've got a range of vehicles, and it's very Commando-like. But the difference here being it's a sort of a single screen affair and doesn't scroll, which makes things a little bit more interesting actually at times. You've got to be a little bit more tactical. So we're starting off the game. I'm in the black there. Basically, you just need to reach the top of the screen. You don't have to clear the screen of all enemies if you want to progress quickly. But I'm doing this. I'm pretty much going to get rid of every enemy I can on each screen, because it's actually quite a short game. There are 8 outposts to capture, so 8 sort of stages, with usually about 3 or 4 screens or levels per outpost to get by. You've got grenades there you can throw by holding down the fire button. A little bit awkward because sometimes you're firing away and you accidentally throw a grenade and waste one when you didn't really want to. Would have been nice to be able to redefine the keys and have a separate button for the grenade, like a second fire button. I've just rescued a captured soldier there as well. We've got the first appearance of an enemy vehicle there. Plane flying by and dropping bombs on us. And now we've got a jeep. If you time it right, you can blow them up with grenades. And here's the first outpost, and you see like all the enemies come pouring out that building there. Yeah, and there's always one soldier that moves faster than the others. If you shoot him, you get a bonus points of 1,250, and then you get bonus lives at 10,000 points. And that's the first outpost captured, and our second guy rescued there. We've got trains. Yes, just times the grenades there. I think there's a plane that comes here and shoots at us, so be very careful. Oh no, that's later on. My apologies. So yeah, single screen affair. And that does differentiate it from Commando actually. Certainly you have to be a little bit more tactical and work your way around the screen. Whilst it's sad it doesn't scroll, this actually makes it quite a cool little experience actually. The Commodore 64 version does scroll, and that does feel too much like Commando. Which brings me neatly on to the sort of the burning question is, what happened to Who Dares Wins 1? Well, originally Who Dares Wins 1 was first released on the Commodore 64, with the Amstrad and Specky versions still being written. Now, Alligata Software at the time liked doing their own versions of popular arcade games like the excellent Defender rip-off Defend or Die I mentioned earlier. Elite Software held the rights to the Commando conversion, and they were not very happy at all with this rip-off, and they took Alligata Software to court over copyright, claiming the game was too similar to Commando. Instead, Alligata quickly rewrote the game, making significant enough changes, not actually that many really, and released it as Who Dares Wins 2. So if you're very quick, you might have been able to purchase the Commodore 64 version of Who Dares Wins 1 in the shops. And if you look on YouTube, you can find long plays of both the original and sequel on the Commodore 64 if you want to compare them. And you'll also note that the Commodore 64 version scrolls, whereas the Amstrad and Speccy versions are single screen affairs. And I actually think for once it's to the benefit, as I've already mentioned a couple of times. But if you ever look at the difference between the Commodore 64 versions of Who Dares Wins 1 and 2, there's not really a great amount of difference, apart from like the end fortress has been turned into like a little outpost, which will probably be like a little sort of hut or something like that, and some of the level layouts are a little bit different, but it certainly did look very much like Commando. But anyway, enough about that. Back to the game in hand. Got the bunkers here, and of course they featured in Commando as well, the guys popping their heads up every now and again. So yeah, he does over lots of Commando, but this is a great fun little game. Lots of interesting things always happening. Yeah, watch out for planes there, and other enemy vehicles. Can be quite hard directing your grenades. They seem to fly a lot further if you sort of throw them diagonally. And I think the difficulty level is pitched just right. It feels quite easy at times, but then you always seem to get caught out by a stray bullet or grenade you hadn't noticed, or a very, very sneaky enemy plane or tank you didn't expect to see or be attacked by. But I think the balance is just right. Most people actually progress quite well, but without completing it each time, and it's very easy to pick up and play. The graphics are very simple, but they do the job. They look quite nice. Some decent shooting noises from the gun and explosions and grenades. Perhaps would have been nice to have some music in-game, but we're asking a lot though for a game released in 1985. Obviously the Amstrad CPC 464 had only been out less than a year. And considering the other games released in the same year, this is head and shoulders above most of them, and is a favourite in many people's collections. If you watch my last video celebrating 30 years of the Amstrad CPC 464, you will note that Alex made a big mention of this game being one of his favourites and probably his most memorable game, as did Ash. So I thought my first long play for a long time after doing that video, I thought I'd do Who Dares Wins 2. And it's quite a short little game. There's another outpost to capture. And there's lots of nice little touches, like being able to sort of rescue captured comrades who are about to face a firing squad. If you're too slow, they get shot. You don't get a bonus life for that, you just get like a nice bonus score. That's Outpost 5 captured, and we've got 3 more to get. Quite a tricky starting screen, this one. But again, just take your time. Often just standing still in the same place and just firing away often reaps good rewards, rather than running about like a mad thing. Because eventually they'll come across your line of fire. and gives you more time to think about where other bullets are coming. See, this is quite a short Outpost level. Only 3 screens in this one. In this one, just got to watch out for grenade attacks, and obviously we got 2 guys in bunkers either side. But standing in the right place, and they can't shoot us. So we're nicely clearing this one away quite easily. And I do love the box art for the original Alligata release. I think it came in a really nice sort of clamshell case as well. Well worth picking up. I've only ever seen the cassette version, but apparently there was a disc version released a year later. Although I haven't seen it on eBay or anything like that, so that'd be quite a collector's item actually. This is really a really fondly remembered game on the Amstrad. The Specky version is pretty much identical, obviously with less colours. I don't think the sprite definition is very good at all though, but it's still a very playable and good game. It's well worth checking out if you're a Specky fan. Watch out on this screen here, there's 3 different planes that attack you with their machine guns. And they get triggered at a certain point up on the screen, so ush your way up very carefully. And this is possibly a little homage to Ikari Warriors with the water here and the bridges between like little islands. So yeah, if you're a fan of Commando and Ikari Warriors and stuff like that, you'll love this game. And Alligata Software did do a really good run of games in the early days, mostly sort of ripping up popular arcade games, but they did really good jobs of it, especially Defend or Die. If you like Defender, you'll love Defend or Die. It's a really excellent game. I think it got re-released as Guardians 2, which actually Steve Evans, the programmer of this, got credited for. Only with some very minor differences to the original Alligata release. Anyway, I'm waffling on. Tricky little outpost, this one. They're starting to get a little bit more aggressive. So just take your time and watch out. You can see like little sort of grey dots on the floor. That's sort of quicksand. Don't walk in it or you'll sink and die. And obviously don't walk into the bunkers. There's some quicksand just above my head there, whether you saw that or not. But on to the final outpost, and we're very near the end of the game. So perhaps I'll sum up a bit of a review here. Nice enough graphics for the time. I don't know whether the orange is a little bit just too garish, but I don't know, kind of suits it okay. Basic sprites, but nicely done. Decent enough sound effects. Could have done some in-game music. Oh, here, this is the final outpost. We've already reached it. And lots of nice touches of different vehicles, rescuing colleagues, and some variation here and there. The difficulty curve just right. I made this look easy, but a lot of practice to get this long play without dying. But yeah, I think overall I think I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. I think it was probably like an 89% or something like that. Just missing out on like sort of a master game category. But there we go, we've captured the final outpost. Congratulations, hero. Actually, that looks like congratulations, nerd. Kind of appropriate for me. You've captured the fortification. Unfortunately, you are now needed at the frontier again as your backup team has failed to hold the outposts. Oh dear. And basically the game loops over. I don't think there's any sort of increase in difficulty. So we'll just sort of kill ourselves here. And it just goes back to the title screen. So no high score table or game over screen. But there you go. 8.5 out of 10 from me. I hope you enjoyed, and I should have another long play video for you very shortly. Thank you very much guys, see you soon, goodbye.